Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effy and today we're testing Colourpop. I'm starting this testing video a little bit different. As you can tell, I have nothing on my face. I thought we would go through the journey of testing together, so hopefully you're excited for that. I did place an order on Colourpop myself, however some of the products in this video were won in a giveaway held by a girl over on Instagram. I will let you know which products I didn't purchase, just so you know, and I'm being transparent. Throughout the video I will talk about Colourpop as the brand a little bit. I will also talk about shipping because that's very important. I'm based in the UK and Colourpop is an American brand, so obviously shipping, taxes, things like that are very important. But let's keep this intro short, let's get on with the testing video. But before we do, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it is all makeup content, so if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you. I have a lot of testing videos coming in the next couple of months. I'm filming them all now, like pre-filming all of them. I really hope you're excited, but if you like testing videos, join the family, hit the subscribe button. But other than that, let's get on with testing Colourpop. I didn't order a primer, so I have just put on my NYX Marshmallow primer just to sort of, I don't know, try and hydrate my skin a little bit. My skin is a little bit dry. My voice is also a little bit of a mess. I'm getting over a cold, so my whole body is just a bit ugh. But yeah, hopefully it shouldn't affect it too much. It's quite a hydrating primer, so hopefully that will help. For foundation, I picked up the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Tinted Moisturiser. Obviously, this is not going to cover everything that I've got going on my face right now, but it'll do hopefully something. I have the shade Fair 4N, and actually what I found really useful is that if you go onto the Colourpop website and you're trying to order a foundation or a concealer, you can put in like whether your skin is fair, medium, dark, I don't know, all the different ones, and then you can put in your undertone. So I put in neutral, and then it'll recommend shades to you. So it recommended 4N and I think 2N. So I obviously didn't go for the palest shade because even though I normally go for the palest shade looked really pale. So I went for this one. It may be too dark. I can't really tell. There's not really a way of seeing the colour. As always, I'm going to go in half my face with a sponge, half my face with a brush. I feel like as it's a tinted moisturiser, it may work better with a brush, but we'll see. Okay, so I've taken like 2.5 pumps because that first one does not count. Let's give this a go. Ooh, it's too dark. Well done me. Oh, it's way too dark. It's also not neutral. Okay, so the brush is leaving it quite streaky and I'm not really enjoying that, so I'm gonna go in with the sponge on this side. I probably need some more product. And this is a new sponge, so it's probably gonna soak up a fair amount of the product. So I've just taken another 2 pumps. So the foundation is too dark for me. I should have just gone for the lighter shade, but I didn't. But because it is a skin tint, I don't think it matters as much as if it were a foundation. Obviously, if this is going to oxidize more, that could be a problem. But right now, it's not looking horrendous. Like, it's not the best, but it's not looking too bad in terms of the shade. In terms of the formula, I'm not usually a skin tint sort of person. Overall, I don't think it's terrible. I think it looks fine on the majority of my face. I do think it's evened out my skin tone a nice amount. However, I do have like a dry patch on my forehead. I think I got bit by something. I'm not too sure, but I've had like this like mark on my forehead for weeks. And it is looking a little bit dry around there, but it's not any more noticeable than it would be with a different foundation. I don't think it's my favourite. Like, I feel like I could probably find a better skin tint. Not that I've ever tested a skin tint before. It's not my thing. I like coverage. But as a skin tint, even if I'm not looking at the coverage level, I just don't think this is the best. Now, in very big contrast to the very light coverage foundation we have, I have the No Filter Concealer. It's a matte concealer, and I'm pretty sure this is high coverage. And I got the shade Fair 02. It has separated. Like, I only got these maybe 2 weeks ago, and it's already separated a little bit. Let me see if I can show you. Can you sort of see? Is that visible on camera? It's sort of separated, a little bit of oil separated there. That's fine, I'll give it a shake. Obviously this isn't going to cover my blemishes because it's way too pale, but I am just going to put a little bit of this around the centre of my face and under my eyes. I look ridiculous. That's a very, very white concealer. And this is kind of why I didn't get the shade 2N in the foundation, because I thought it would be too white. In terms of the formula, it has got coverage. It's definitely giving me a lot more coverage than the foundation has. Which kind of looks a bit weird because obviously I've got so much coverage under my eyes and then like very little anywhere else. But that's fine. It did blend out quite nicely. Not as nicely as some of my other ones. I know that the one I tested in my Rimmel video blended out a lot easier, and I quite liked that one. This one took a little bit more effort, but it's not terrible. Like I said, I do have a dry patch on my forehead. I also have a tiny dry patch under this eye, and they're not looking great. They're not looking terrible either. Overall, right now, I think the concealer looks fine. I don't think it's going to be my favourite anytime soon. It is also very matte, just saying, and I tend to prefer more hydrating concealer. But I bought this concealer knowing it was matte, so that's my bad. What I'm going to do now, because I don't have a Colourpop powder, I didn't care to buy one, I'm just going to show you what my skin looks like now, and then I'm going to powder it down, and then we'll do everything else. Okay, hopefully that's like fully in focus and you can kind of see what my skin is looking like. So as you can see, I don't have much coverage down here where the foundation is, but under my eyes I do, and it's very bright, very bright. And my under eyes are creasing, they always do that. I obviously haven't put anything on my lid, so you can kind of see just how much coverage I've got just from the concealer. Also, I'll show you that little dry patch on my forehead. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. It's just around here. And obviously I've got the foundation and the concealer on top of that, so they're both just, it's just not looking great. We're going to move on to blush. I have two. This one was won in a giveaway and this one I bought myself. So we'll start with the one I won in a giveaway. This is the Love Story Pressed Powder Blush. This is from one of their collections. I don't think you can get this anymore. But it looks like this. It's kind of not my sort of blush, so I think as much as I got this in a giveaway, I think I might put this in a future giveaway because it's just not my sort of shade. And then I picked up the Super Shock Cheek in the shade Growth Flirt. So it looks like this. And actually I have a tiny issue to bring up. Colourpop website, I don't know how they're taking their photos. It did not look like this on the website, in my opinion. I was expecting it to be a bit lighter. Ooh. Their Super Shock formula is like cream to powder, isn't it? If I just... That is such a weird texture. It looks quite nice. I mean, I just thought it would be a lot lighter than this. But it looks fine. I can still use it. How do I apply this? With a brush? Let's try a brush. Okay, I mean it's going on my face. It's not disturbing what's underneath, which is fine. It's not like my ideal shade. Like if I saw this in a shop, I probably wouldn't pick this up. I've made myself look like a clown. I will turn this down a little bit. It's quite nice. It's an interesting formula. I think I should probably try a shade that I love a little bit more. It's not bad. Like, ignoring the shade, I actually think the product itself is quite nice. I like that it's in quite a big pot because you can sort of swirl your brush around. I mean, I have quite a small brush for cream blush and I could swirl it around quite easily. Yeah, it worked nicely. It's applied well. It did take a little bit of building, and I think that's where I sort of struggled with knowing how much to use and how I've ended up with too much, because I was just sort of building it and I didn't need to. But it didn't come out as strong as I was expecting on that first application. Maybe if you used your fingers it would. I think I like it. For bronzer, I picked up the Pressed Powder Bronzer in the shade Jet Set. It says it at the top. Again, because of the packaging, it makes me think it might be part of a collection, but I don't know, so this may or may not be available. That's another thing I'm not a massive fan of when it comes to Colourpop, is the fact that they have so many different collections that come and go, and in and out of stock, and is it still available? Is it been discontinued? I don't know. Does Colourpop even know at this point? But here is the bronzer. It has got some shimmer to it, but I think that's fine. It looks like it could be a decent shade for me. It looks pale enough. I'm not used to shimmery bronzers, I'll be honest. But I'll give it a go. I also quite like the outer packaging. This bronzer, so far I quite like it. Ooh. I've noticed recently that I quite like yellow toned bronzers. And this is sort of that yellowy tone, it's not too red. How to look like a clown with Effys 101. Use too much product for everything. Okay, I quite like this. I'm not a massive fan of how much kick up I've got in the pan, but I quite like this. This is really nice. In terms of the shimmer, you can see it. It has got a little bit of a sheen just on my forehead, but I think it works quite nicely. I think it's like giving me a glow. I do think I've gone a little bit too heavy on my forehead, on my nose, and pretty much everywhere. Highlighter, I obviously had to pick up one of their Super Shock highlighters. This is in the shade Over the Moon. Obviously, I picked up a weird colour because I love it. I don't even know what colour this is or what colour it's meant to be. It's kind of got pink in it. Ooh, it does have pink in it. Ooh, it's exciting. That looks stunning. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. It's very glittery though. It has such a weird texture. Wow. Wow. Oh, that is stunning. Okay. I know this isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. I'm going to try it down my nose. And again, I'm a little bit skeptical because I'm not sure how it's going to look, but oh, I'm in love. Yeah, it doesn't look the best down my nose or on my Cupid's bow, just because I think it is a little bit more glittery than some of my other highlighters. But I'm in love with it. I know that colourful highlighters aren't a thing anymore. I still love them. I would happily go out the house with a green highlighter. It would make me very happy to do that. This is so beautiful. Oh, it literally reminds me of like a galaxy. It's sort of got that. Oh, I'm in love. Now, because I've used pretty much all cream products apart from the bronzer, I don't feel like I need to like spray my face, which is different. So I'm just gonna zoom you in and we'll make a start on eyes. Just ever so quickly, we are going to stray from Colourpop because I do have a brow product to test, but it's not Colourpop. I didn't pick up a brow product at all from Colourpop. Just wasn't too interested. But I do have this to test. It is the NYX Thicket Stick It Thickening Brow Mascara in the shade Taupe. This was very kindly sent to me by NYX to test, so let's give it a test. As a big brush. I'm not a big fan of how big it is, it's kind of scary, but let's brush this through my brows. I think that's done quite a nice job. Does this have fibres in it? I feel like it does. Yeah, this has fibres in it. I think that's done quite a nice job of just bringing some life back to my brows. Because I do my brows after my foundation, powder and all that, they tend to get covered and just look a little less bold. I quite like it. It does feel like it would stick your brows down if that's what you were going for. Like it's got that sort of sticky feeling to it, which is quite nice. I'm obviously now going to have to go in with a brow pencil. That's absolutely fine. I quite like this. I think the shade is also quite good. It's quite cool toned. It may even be a touch too cool toned for me, but that's fine. It's good to know they have a cool toned option. I think it's really defined my brow hairs as well. Like you can see each individual brow hair, which is quite nice. Quite good for that natural look. Unfortunately, I do shave off the ends of my brows, so it's not going to look natural on me. But if you didn't, I imagine this would work amazingly. And it has worked really well on the brow hairs that I have. But yeah, I quite like this. Thumbs up from me. Thank you, NYX, for sending it over. Just going to go in with my Benefit Goof Proof brow pencil. Okay, brows aren't looking the best. It was kind of difficult to draw over what was there, so I imagine if I were to use this in the future, I would go in with the pencil first and then the brow gel, which isn't my favourite way round of doing things, but if it works, it works. Now we're going to do the eyes. I also don't have an eye primer from Colourpop, so I'm going in with my Collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer and Eye Primer. We have a couple of eye products. First of all, we'll start with the ones that I bought. So I bought the High Tide Pressed Powder Palette. The packaging is stunning. It looks like this. I have wanted this palette since it came out. I will say, it's smaller than I was expecting. Having never held a 9-pan eyeshadow palette from Colourpop before, I thought it would be a little bit bigger. Thankfully, no pressed glitters. I know a lot of Colourpop shadow palettes have pressed glitters. I'm not a fan of pressed glitters. I have 3 shimmers, so these 3 going through the middle. And then this is also a sequin shade, which is sort of a matte shade with a little bit of glitter in it, so there is glitter in there. But then I also obviously had to test a Super Shock shadow. I got the shade Frog, and it looks like this. Let's swatch it. Ooh, very pretty. Sort of pink, like a light pink, but the shimmers in it, like the little glitter particles, are like yellow, blue and pink. So that is gorgeous. And then I also have a palette that I won in a giveaway. This is the French words. I know that one's Noir. Don't know what that one is. I'm really bad at French, I'm sorry. The worst part is that I have 2 French speaking friends and they're 100% fluent in French. And I've learnt nothing from them. This palette comes with a mirror. Again, this is part of a collection that is no longer sold. And the shades just don't call to me. I mean, some of the shimmer shades look stunning, but this is a pressed glitter and it's just not my thing. So this will go into a future giveaway as well. So as usual, I'm going to start with the darkest shade because that's what I normally do. So I'm going in with this shade in the corner called Luna. And while I do my eyeshadow, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the shipping as well. Oh, already got fallout, but that's fine. It used to be for Colourpop, if you ordered from the UK, you would place your order, pay shipping, and then when the order got to the UK you would be hit with a customs charge, but it was sort of an unexpected expense, and there was no way of knowing how much you were going to be charged. However, now your customs charge is calculated at checkout, so when you order your makeup you sort of get told there and then how much you're going to be charged customs, and you pay it along with the rest of your order. By the way, this shade, so pigmented. Loving it. I think for my order, and also if you spend over $60, I think you get free international shipping, which is great. I did an order with one of my friends, so I'd already hit the $60 mark myself, but I knew she wanted to place an order, so we did one together. And we split the customs charge. The customs charge, I think, bearing in mind we had a lot of makeup, like it was quite a big order. It was, I think, about £30 in customs charge. That shade is very intense and I've probably used too much and it has fallen down onto my cheek. But it's really pretty. So now I'm going in with the shade Urchin? Sea urchin? I don't know. This shade here. Another gorgeous shade. I love it. Obviously the blend isn't great. I'll go back through and blend them at the end, but I'm loving this so far. I'm going to go in with New Wave, which is this one down at the bottom. And finally, I'm going to go in with the shade Current at the top. So there are those shades on. Obviously it's not looking very well blended. I'm going to fix that now. I'm just going to go back through all the shades and blend them as much as I need to. That's looking a lot more blended. I did try to brush off the fallout under my eye. Didn't work. Stuck in there. I then just patted over it with my blending sponge. And I'm going to fix it just by putting loads of shadow on my lower lash line, and hopefully it'll just look like I blended my eyeshadow too low. That'll work. I mean, they're blending beautifully. I'm all of this, loving it. The fallout and the amount of powder I'm going to have to blow away because it's just sitting in my palette, I'm not a big fan of that. Anyway, I'm going to go off camera and just quickly cut the crease. Cut crease is on. That was kind of stressful. I've not done a cut crease in quite a while. It's not the best, but it'll do. So, I feel like I'm definitely going in with the Super Shock shadow, but I also kind of want to test a couple of the shimmers in the High Tide palette. So I'm going to go in with the Super Shock first, and then maybe use the High Tide ones just to blend the outer corner. I think there's not enough sort of base to this shade where there's no colour under it, it's just sort of the shimmers. Right, what I'm going to do is go in with the shimmers from the High Tide palette, and then sort of, I might even just go in with the sequin shade on that inner corner and then put this over the top. We'll see how that works. I quite like that shade. I will say I'm not a massive fan of sequin shades in general. And if I do use a sequin shade, I kind of want it to be a dark, even like a black with some glitter in it, because then I can do it in the middle of a smoky eye sort of thing. Having a light sequin shade doesn't really appeal to me, but for this look I think it's going to work quite well, because now I can put that Super Shock shadow over it in a moment and it should look fine. So now I'm going to go in with a little bit of Must See. That went on beautifully, completely dry as well. I imagine that would look really nice all over the lid. Although what I am noticing is that this shade doesn't have that sort of glittery goodness that I personally like in a shimmer shade. It's sort of one of those like metallic type shimmers, which works really nice for cut creases because they pack on really nicely, but they don't have that oomph to them that make them look super glittery and amazing. Now I'm going to go in with Muscle Beach. Oh, that's so pretty. And now just on a pencil brush I'm going to go in with that dark shade, the matte shade Luna. And now I'm going to go in with the Super Shock shadow. Yeah, I'm just going to wet it. I feel like that would help. I've got more fallout from that Super Shock shade, which is fine. Claire was sort of packing it on. I think it has too much of a base to sit over that matte shade, but not enough of a base to be on its own. And I feel like that's kind of just this shade. I feel like you can get Super Shock shadows that have more of a base and they probably work fine. I imagine this would work beautifully if I'd done like a smoky eye with like this dark matte shade all over my lid and then put this shade over the top of that. I think it would have worked beautifully. I'm not mad at how I look, other than the excessive amount of fallout that I have had to clear up and brush away, and it's kind of all over my face at this point. I like the look, I like the shades, I like the Super Shock shadow. Even though it hasn't worked perfectly, I do like it. It's just this fallout, like I've tried to blend it out and hide it and disguise it. I think the answer is to do your eyes first. I don't have a mascara to test, so what I'm going to do is go off camera, catch up the other eye. I'm going to go in with mascara. I'm going to use my KVD Go Big or Go Home mascara, and then we'll come back and do lips. And hopefully I'll be a bit calmer, because this experience has frustrated me a little bit. Okay, eyes are done, hairband is out. That was a lot of effort for an eye look. I put some lashes on. These are the Doll Beauty Stephanie lashes. I also put a liner in my lower lash line. It is the NYX Epic Wear liner stick in the shade Turquoise Storm. This was sent to me last year. What else have I done? I put on mascara. I also put this shade on my inner corner. So I've used every shade except this one here, which is sort of like a sagey green, which I kind of think is a touch out of place. I'm going to have to try and do a look using it, but in my mind it's a little bit out of place in this palette. Here are the eyes. I really do like the look. I like the finished product. It was just a lot of effort to get here, and I wouldn't go through it again. I would simply just use just the palette by itself, but I do think the Super Shock looks nice in this look. I do like it. I have 3 categories of lip products, but 4 different products. So we'll start with the ones that I won in a giveaway, and I won 2 of the Luxe Lip Oils. I have the shade Truth Bomb and First Date. This is Truth Bomb. This is the sticker for it. Very, very different. But I like this colour, which is a good thing. And then the shade First Date. The sticker matches a bit better, but this is just sort of a peachy orange sort of thing. That's not my type of product, so I'm going to put this into a giveaway. I will test this colour here, which is Truth Bomb. Let's pop it on. Okay, first things first, not a massive fan of the smell of it, and I can still kind of smell it now that it's on my lips. Second thing, the doe-foot is very flexible, which works really nicely because it's such a thin consistency. Being able to just drag it nice and easily along your lips works really well. Number 3, it's not what I was expecting. Because it is so pigmented in the tube, I was kind of expected a pigmented gloss. That's not what I've got. It's not quite as thin as a lip oil in my opinion. I always have the idea that lip oils are thinner than this. It does feel like a gloss. It's not sticky, it does look nice. It's given a nice shine to my lips, but I don't think it has much pigment in it. And for that reason, I wonder why they've brought out different shades of it, because I feel like if I put this one on my lips or put the other one on my lips, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But we'll take this one off and move on to the next product. And the next product I have is a lippy stick, or sticks, in the shade Who Run This. Application is terrible, but that's fine because it's not staying on. I have another product to test after this. And it also does not match the eyes. I kind of look ridiculous, but I like this. The shade isn't exactly what I was expecting. It's a touch too brown. It's not a brown shade, it is a burnt orange, but it has just got that hint of like reddy brown. It's almost like a brick red, in my opinion. So I'm not 100% sold on the shade, but the application, I love it. I mean, my application isn't great because my lips are a bit of a mess, but it was so easy. I would sort of describe this as like a soft matte because it is matte, like it's matte on my lips. But it glided on, didn't pull up my lips, was very easy to apply. I actually really like the way you apply these. The application was amazing. But yeah, I really like this. I would happily pick this up in plenty of shades. I also really quite like the packaging. I like that it's just plain white, but you have got the colour on the end so you can see which one you want to pick if you store them upside down. I really like this. Last product is the Luxe Velvet Luxe Liquid Lipstick in the shade Can You Even? And again, the website got me because I was kind of expecting a cool tone brown. I would sort of call this like a neutral brown. Like, I kind of expected this, and I got this. But it's fine, we'll give it a go. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised by how much I like it. I'm not 100% sure it works with this look, but my lips are a little bit red from like rubbing off other lipsticks. And my foundation isn't looking great, like anywhere, but I quite like the shade. This isn't a very me shade at all. It's not the sort of thing I would go for, and it's not a cool tone brown. I actually think it's like slightly on the edge of being a bit peachy, but I quite like it. Also, the formula, super thin. I don't even know if it's going to fully dry down. It almost feels like a mousse formula, but a bit thinner. I'm just going to put the lip oil on top and see what it looks like. But I do quite like this colour. I'm still not 100% sold on the lip oil. I think out of the 3 lip products I've tested, that's probably my least favourite. Just because I'm just not sure about it. I don't like the smell, first of all. And I'm just not sure how much use I'm going to get out of it. And then between the liquid lipstick and the lip pencil, they're very different, so it would depend on what I'm going for. I think I kind of prefer the lippy stick thing. But there we go, that's the look. What a video. Wow. Okay, so top products, I really like the highlight, I really like the bronzer. I really like the eyeshadow palette except the amount of fallout, but that's easily fixed by doing my eyes first. Products I'm not so sure on is probably the foundation and the lip oil. And then sort of sitting in the middle is like the blush and the Super Shock shadow, which I'm a little bit disappointed in because Super Shock shadow was something I was most excited to try. And I just feel like I didn't get like the best shade for my first try. I feel like I should have gone with something that had a bit more of a base to it. But that's fine. I know for the future I will definitely pick up some more and see if I like them. If you would like me to test more Colourpop products, please do let me know. And also give me some ideas of what products you like from Colourpop if you've tested any down below in the comments section. But other than that, if you like this video, please do give it a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it is all makeup content, so if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you. And like I said at the start, I have loads of testing videos coming to you. I'm actually going to test some more products today. I'm filming a lot of testing videos today, so if that sounds like your type of thing, then please do hit that subscribe button. You will not be disappointed, hopefully. But anyway, I will let you go. Have a great day and an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!